This week, I really leaned into the storytelling aspect of my videos. Welcome to my week 17 recap of being a YouTube content creator. For my stats, I now have 18 videos published and 6 shorts. For this week, I have 129 views, I got 13 likes, I gained 1 new subscriber, and I have 7.9 watch hours. So this week I took a step back and I actually didn't do any filming. I did edit a video and I set it to publish, but I really want to take a step back and focus on the type of content that I'm creating. I've been focusing on getting a video out every week, and I think that pressure to get that video out has really not helped me to focus on the type of content that I want to create. And so I'm really just putting stuff out there that's subpar. And so this week I took a step back. While I did edit and schedule something to publish, I didn't film anything new. And I really took the time to think about what is it that I want to do with my channel as far as my videos go. I know what the content is. I just want the video style to be unique, and I want the video style to be creative and fun. And because I've been putting this pressure on myself to get something filmed, to get something edited, and get something scheduled every week, I feel like the content has really been struggling. Or not struggling, but suffering. I have about 4 weeks worth of videos scheduled to publish, like 2 videos a week for the next 4 weeks, ready to go. And so I feel like this week I could take a step back and really focus on the scripting of my videos and decide how I'm going to really put together my future videos. And again, really focusing on that storytelling aspect, because I'm not making like a blog. I don't want to make just a daily vlog, and I don't want to make videos that are about knowledge or training or anything like that. I want it to be a journey, and I want it to be a storytelling journey. And so that's really why I took a step back this week and didn't record anything, because I really want to focus on working on that storytelling aspect of my future videos. So for this week, I really did spend a lot of my research time focusing on how to tell stories. And so I watched a whole bunch of videos on what needs to be incorporated in the storytelling style. And I think I got the foundation. Like in my head, I've got the foundation down of what would make a good story. I just have to implement it with the footage that I have been getting, or I have to really think about it while I'm getting that footage to make sure that the footage that I am going to get can be incorporated into a story. So right now I do have a couple of videos that I want to make that I've already recorded footage on, and I'm struggling to turn that into a story because I've already got the footage. And what I'm I'm trying to do is really reframe that footage into a story so that I can do the type of videos that I want, if that makes any sense. For video editing and scripting this week, starting with video editing, I found out this week that in CapCut there is actually free music that I could use. For some reason, every time I selected audio from the CapCut library, it was making me, and I went to export, it was making me try to buy the subscription. So I thought that there wasn't any free options available. But then for one of my videos, I had added some music and I forgot to remove it before I exported it, and it let me export. And so I went back and I tried to understand like what were the free ones. And there's this tiny little diamond that I wasn't seeing on some of the music, that if it has the diamond, then you have to use this, you have to buy the subscription to use the music. But if it doesn't have the diamond, then it's free and available to use. And so now I have been able to add some music and some other features into my videos directly from CapCut. I'm still going to Clipchamp to add in the outro, just because I like that outro, and I don't like any of the outros that were available in CapCut for free. I'm thinking that maybe it's time for me to just create one of my own, which I can do. I just have to take the time to do something that is my style. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, especially since the outro that I have been using seems to be popular with some of the viewers, because I've gotten some compliments on it, even though it's not mine. And so I think in the near future, I will probably try to create a unique outro that is specific to me. For scripting this week, I ended up turning to AI. What happened was I started editing my video, and I had 50 minutes worth of content of me chronologically emptying out each shelf in my pantry and going through and deciding what to do with things. And as I was watching back that footage, to me, I just found that it was not value added to watch. I wasn't providing much entertainment in what I was showing. And so I felt like it was going to be a very boring video. So I went to ChatGPT and I put in that I had 50 minutes worth of footage of cleaning out my pantry. How can I use this footage so that it's interesting to viewers and can provide value as entertainment? And the feedback that I got was actually pretty great. It said instead of doing the chronological clean out, instead put the content or edit it in an order of idea. And so what I did was I ended up putting all the points where I ended up getting overwhelmed. And then I put in all of the food that I ended up having to throw out, and I put a little ping and a running count on the screen of how much stuff I ended up throwing out. I ended up putting a section in of the stuff that should have been thrown out, but I ended up keeping it and how I talked myself into keeping it. And finally, resetting the actual pantry. And at the end of the day, I think it really did turn out to be a much better video than if I would have stuck with the chronological clean out and reset of the pantry. So after I did that initial change in the video, it really prompted me to think about how I am scripting my videos after the fact. And what I decided to do is that I really need to start pre-scripting my videos instead of getting a whole bunch of content and then deciding how to edit it after the fact. And what I did was I wanted to try to add a little bit more flair to the video, and I kind of went down a storytelling rabbit hole as well. So I did a lot of research on storytelling, and I ended up redoing the intro of that video, and this is what it turned out to be like. Every day, when 5 o'clock hits, I have this feeling of doom. I'm confused, lost, wandering with no clear direction. With shaking hands, I push open the door to the most special place at the center of our home, the place that should bring happiness, comfort, security. I turn on the dim light. Immediately, my eyes are bombarded with broken boxes, overturned canisters, empty bags. I desperately scan the space for something that can ease the distress of my racing thoughts. My boys are hungry. They've had a long day. They need food. What about a carb? What about a vegetable? What can go with the frozen pieces of chicken breast I did not thaw out in time? In my head, I hear the pounding of the metal utensils on our creaky wooden table. I hear my family wailing from the depths of the house, "What's for dinner?" My hands start to sweat. There has to be something in here, I think desperately. Okay, well, a bit dramatic. We've all been there before, right? So I'm really happy with that new intro. It was fun to make. I think people will enjoy it, and I think it's really improving the quality of the video. And it really has me thinking that I really want to lean into the storytelling aspect of this journey. And so for my next video, I'm really focusing on that intro, on that storytelling, on incorporating all the components of a story into each of the videos that I make going forward so that it's more entertaining. I spent a lot of time really focusing on how I can improve the storytelling of my videos. And I really want to start incorporating, really describing the 5 or 6 senses in each of my stories, no matter what the topic is about. And the 6 senses are sound, sight, touch, smell, taste, and emotion. And so I'm really diving into each of those senses with my storytelling so that I can really bring the viewers into every moment, not just through sight, but through the storytelling of it as well. For recordings this week, I only did 17 clips. And one of the reasons why I only did 17 is because I didn't actually film what I had scheduled myself to film this week. And the reason for that is because I, for some reason, am extremely intimidated to try to do this. And so the idea was I was going to try to cook 4 meals all at once for the upcoming week because I'm supposed to be on site. And I needed to make sure that I was prepared for my dinners. And so I was going to try to cook them all on a Sunday afternoon and then prepared. And all week long, I was really dreading trying to film this. And I don't know why. It was kind of just something that was in the back of my head, really stressing me out. I put it on the calendar. I had the items that I was going to cook noted down, and I had the day that I was supposed to go shopping for them. But when it was time to actually do the meals, for some reason, I couldn't bring myself to do that video. And I don't know why. I think it's because when you're cooking, you can't like stop if you mess up. And so I don't think I was ready for that kind of pressure. And so I just need to figure out. I should have just done it because they ended up saying I don't have to go into the office this week. And so I wouldn't have had that pressure of really actually getting complete meals on the table. And so if I messed something up, it would have just been a trial run. but I didn't do it. And I'm going to have to learn how to get comfortable with filming with items that I can't redo. And, like when you're cooking something and you mess up, you can't recook what you did. And so that part of the mess ups and all that is the reality that people want to watch, but also it's just I don't know why I wasn't ready. I think it was too much for me. Too much too soon. And so I'm going to try again sometime in the future. But I don't know why. It really intimidated me to have to try to cook and even just cook one meal. It's intimidating because for me, I can't mess up my family's dinner because then what do we eat? Did I have to spend any money on my channel this week? I did not have to do any YouTube spend this week. How was my schedule this week? I actually did a very good change this week that I think I'm going to keep going for future weeks. What I did that really helped me because I work from home, I decided to change and do my strength trainings during my lunch hour. And so I've been doing my strength training during my lunch hour, which means that frees up my evenings for me to do something else. And that's been working really well. And so I'm going to continue doing that. So I did it on Tuesday and I did it on Wednesday, but I did miss not to Wednesday, Thursday, but I did miss the weekend workout. And so what I'm going to do to switch is I'm going to do my workouts during my lunch hours, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then that frees me up my evenings and my weekends to work on YouTube. For my YouTube tasks, because I had a light week, I really spent a lot of it researching. I did edit the one film for my pantry clean out. I edited it once. I ended up trashing it because it was 50 minutes long and it was boring. After I got the feedback from ChatGPT, I re-edited it. And then after I really started research storytelling, I created that fun intro. And so that's what I did for this week for my YouTube tasks. And the rest of the time has really been digging into storytelling to see how I can improve on my storytelling. And while I've done a lot of research and watched a lot of videos on how to storytell, I think at this point, what I need to do is just start watching storytelling videos, meaning more actual storytellings, or I like to read books. And once I started doing this YouTube channel, I kind of put reading on the back burner. But I think what I need to do is get back into reading so that I can pick up those storytelling tips in books and things that I like to watch, and see if that will help me with my storytelling of my videos. Do I have any accomplishments this week? I don't think I have any accomplishments to report this week. Let's talk about emotions and physical well-being. So emotion-wise, I was pretty steady. And again, because I really didn't put any pressure to film anything, I had already decided that I wasn't going to film the cooking video that I was going to do. I mean, I tried to push myself to do it, but I just had so much resistance. I knew I wasn't going to do it. If that makes sense. So emotion-wise, in the back of my head, I already knew I wasn't going to do it. So I didn't really stress about it. But I really just I have almost 4 weeks worth of videos in the queue. So I was able to like really take a breather and step back. And I spent a lot of the time just researching storytelling and then re-editing the video. And I'm really happy with the second editing result that I have. And so emotion wise, I feel like I'm at a steady place. I'm really happy with where I'm at. And I'm really happy that I got a chance to just take this week to relax and to really focus on what I want to do, and that's getting more creative. For physical well-being, because I've picked up more cardio, I've been walking more regularly, I've been doing my strength training. I've got the 2 days in, I'm aiming for the 3, but I've really started getting a lot more movement in. And so physically, I'm also feeling a lot better. The hot flashes and the night sweats and the mood swings, all of that is going away. I mean, it's almost gone. I think I maybe had one hot flash that I can remember and just a couple nights of night sweats and not very many mood swings. And so I feel like being able to get back on track physically with my workouts and my cardio and moving more has really helped a lot. I'm still struggling with the nutrition. And so I really need to buckle down on the sugar. I've really been craving those sugary treats. And I think that's something that's still kind of impacting me a little. So if I can get the sugar under control, I know things will be a lot better. And maybe that last little bit of symptoms that I have will go away if I can get that under control. Let's talk about my goals. So I have the 4 goals. The first one is making sure that I am setting up my planner, my happy planner, either Sunday night or Monday morning to plan out my week and so that I know what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. Last week, I did fill out my happy planner. I got my dinners all scheduled out. I got my workouts scheduled out and I got my YouTube tasks scheduled out. I followed my planner to a T. And so things were very good last week because I didn't have that last minute struggle of when to do things because it was already planned out for me. The second goal is journaling daily, and I've been doing a lot better with this one as well. I missed one day. The third goal is to do my recaps on Monday, and I actually did my recaps on Monday. 2 weeks in a row, I have done my recaps on Monday. My last goal is to put my thoughts into Notion as soon as they come in. This week, I really think I only had one content idea that I put into Notion, but what I've also done is I've decided that I'm putting in the things that I want to include in my recap right away as well. So as things happen, and I think it's a good item to add to my weekly recap, I've been throwing it into my recap tab in Notion so that I can include it in these videos. And so I did do quite a bit of information into my recap tab as soon as they came to mind so that I could remember to include them. For milestones this week, I really feel like I hit a milestone with my scripting by really just thinking about how I'm going to put it in the future and really leaning into that storytelling aspect of scripting. And so I think that's a true milestone. This video that I just did on the pantry reset is the first video that really shows what I'm trying to aim for, or the closest thing that I'm trying to aim for, at least with the intro. I mean, the rest of the video was pretty good. I added a lot of fun little extras, features, and stuff that will keep the viewers engaged. But really, that storytelling intro is what I'm aiming for throughout the entire video. And so I think this is a milestone that really got me to that first step that I can now build on to make each video better as storytelling goes. My friend, that is going to wrap up week 17 of being a YouTube content creator. I want to thank you for the privilege of your time, and I hope to see you again next week.